What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Bowers Batch. And today we're going to be reviewing Family Star, Vijay Deverakonda's newest movie. I mean, it'll be spoiler free for a bit, and then we'll go into spoilers. Uh, yeah. So, or all of us hated it, right? Just before we even
Yeah,
begin the review.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. This is gonna be a
I
roast.
have. Yeah. I don't have a single positive about this movie.
I
Like,
have, I have, I have some, and
yeah.
even the positives are backhanded, so it's not like really a.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. I have some, but.
Yeah,
This marks VD's, and this makes Cushy look like it could win an Oscar for movie of the year.
yeah.
So yeah, so I guess we'll start. I mean, Avi, you said you had a lot to say about this movie, right?
Yeah, I do have a lot to say. So
Should we
Go
start
ahead.
with negatives?
where do we
Save the
we
positives for then.
We can just do positives really quick. It'll be like 5 minutes, and then we can the rest of the
Sure.
episode will be negatives anyways.
Vijay and Murnal look good, and Vijay and Murnal look good, and some of the songs are okay, I guess. Um, I don't think I would listen to this album again. Kalyana, what Kal the Kalyanam song at the end is pretty good, but that's really it, man. I mean, there's some
Like,
scenes where I laughed,
you don't
but
like the Head and Shoulders song?
which one?
The Head and Shoulders song,
No, I hate that
the
song.
hairstyle.
No,
oh
no, 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 no. Such an irritating guitar strum. Yeah,
The funny
no,
thing
I
is they
don't.
use the same music for like fight scenes, which I don't understand.
Yeah, dude, they used that Iron dialogue twice. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
she
crazy.
says it once. She says it, and then he says it, obviously.
Yeah. You can tell they added Murnal's dialogue in after it went viral because
Oh
it's
yeah,
so out of place.
100%.
She's like, I didn't want challenge. I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
So yeah, my positives are the first half, like I gotta say, I mean, because obviously I saw the film after all the hate and negative talk. So the first half, I was like, okay, like it's pretty basic. Like I don't like hate it. It's not great, but I also don't think like it's terrible. So the first half, I found myself like, yeah, enjoying some bits. I was like, all right, it's a casual time pass entertainer. Like I don't really care for it. And then the second half is where the shit show starts, at least for me. Like that's when everything just goes downhill. But for the first half, I would say like you could say some of it is a plus point, I guess. Like there is some good stuff in there that is like some dialogues that were funny or whatever. Um, but yeah, the second half really it's a shitter. It's really bad.
no, yeah, I agree. I think for me, first half, there is some sort of suspense that is built up with Morale's character when she's telling the story, right? With her when she's in the little room telling the whole story back, right? So that there is some sort of like, okay, there's it's building up to like what is actually happening. So it was not too bad right there. But yeah, first half, I mean, it's not great, but I would say one plus point though would be Bama, the grandmother. I thought her, and VD had some sort of a good chemistry with some of the lines that they said. They bounced off each other, so I thought that was good. She was a plus point. And Yeah, I mean, overall, first half had a little bit of intrigue, right? Like she comes and settles in her guest room or his guest room upstairs, and there's some sort of like, okay, what's gonna happen? Like there's some level of intrigue, so it keeps it going for a little bit, but it still doesn't. The concept of like Family Star just is not convincing, and I think that's the main issue with this movie. So yeah, I would say the plus point that would be the only thing. Grandmother and BD's kind of you know going off each other.
Dude, even that, like, I just got flashbacks to obviously like Sita Mbagitlo, like Mahesh and the same Bama. And because it's a direct same relationship they're trying to go for. And like every time they had scenes together, I would just compare it to that. And I would be like, that is so much better. Like Mahesh and the Bama work so much better. Like their banter, it's same similar type of banter where he just kind of like boosts, yells at her, makes fun of her or whatever, as like that's like their way of showing love to each other, right? I thought that was like way better. Like they tried that here, but I don't think it worked from VD's side. Like the Bama was doing fine, but I don't think it worked from his side. So even that, like I think all of the relationships just faltered for me. Like I didn't believe a single relationship in that movie. Like I didn't care about them being brothers, like VD and the brothers. I didn't care about VD and like his Wadinas and the kids. I didn't care about even VD and Bernal. Like I believe no relationship in that film. I think that was like the biggest downfall. They couldn't make us believe anything.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I don't think any other relationships were convincing enough. Like you don't care enough about like his brother of his alcoholism or whatever the fuck
God,
that is. Like, it's not, you don't feel any of that.
the
So
worst subplot.
yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to think what other plus points, but yeah, the songs are yeah. Honestly, there's only two songs that are placed properly. Like the Kalyani songs at the end, just like thrown at the end. I mean, the placement I thought would be at least something would, it would flow, but that it wasn't even there. So, um, yeah, I can't think. Is there anything
Dude,
else?
Tollywood thinks that being middle class is some sort of like curse. Like obviously it's not ideal and shit, but the way they portray their leads is so insulting. Like VD is so like insecure that when someone upstairs is eating food, he tells her like order Jago, my kid's time. Like it's so they make a middle class family look so caricaturous, and it's just like it's so insulting. I'm like, dude, like VD is cutting corners left and right, but he has somehow an 8 pack, the most chiseled face around, looks like a model. Like, what the fuck is your casting choice, right? And it's just like it's so stupid. And like he literally looks like a movie hero waiting in line for onions. You expect us to believe that, right? Makeup department did a shit job. They did such a bad job, like doing like middle class, like kashtalu. Like they just exaggerated so much. It's so stupid. And there's just dumb shit that happens in the movie. Like Jagpati Babu gives him 2 years of checks in advance. No one even bats an eye, and just dumbass illogical things like yeah.
That's like
It-
that's like one of us going up to some guy that interviewed us in college and like we ended up rejecting their offer because we were like, oh, I got a better offer. But then we go back to him like 5 years later and like, hey, can I have that job again? And can you give me 2 years advance salary? Like
yeah,
that is so unbelievable, dude. I don't know,
yeah,
like, and on top of that, it's like what, 2 crores or something that guy gives? It's like
yeah,
ridiculous. It's like who does that?
And
dude.
he
I,
uses
And
it all on just cars and like the
yeah,
random ass stuff, not even on his own family members.
yeah,
Like he's broke at the back, like at the ending again.
yeah.
VD and Parsram love slapping scenes, dude. They no matter what they do, they have to put that in their movies.
Yeah.
I can't believe Myrtle okayed the script. I was like very surprised that like
You're right.
VD, whatever, he's okayed worse, but
I
Myrtle
think
Thakur,
Arshram like played her, dude. I think he told her that it's a strong role. Like the female characterization is like just as stubborn as the male one. Like you're equal with, Vijay's character. I think he somehow sold her on it. And I don't think he had like a balanced script at the time. So she was like, okay, like this guy narrated like a decent character to me, like let me do it. But Parshuram is actually like one of the worst directors. I actually saw one of his movies from like a long time ago. It's called Solo. Have you guys seen it or like heard of
yeah,
it?
long time
Um,
ago.
Dude, his his like I don't know how he made it in the industry. Like somehow Geeta Govindam like made him big, but ever since his beginning days, like with Solo and like actually Anjaneyar was probably one of his like only decent films, but that's all because of Ravi Teja anyways. But like everything that uses his own effort is a failure, in my opinion. Like Solo, Sarkar Pata, like even Gita going to an extent, like it's not that good. Family Star, I think with Family Star, it's like cemented that this guy should just stop or like make lower budget films and really focus on your writing.
Yeah, dude. There's so many things wrong with this movie. I don't even know where to start. I mean, VD and Myrtle don't have chemistry. Entire second half, they're arguing or like doing the same office, but they're 10, 10, 20 feet away. And also, I hate movies where మొత్తం plot point solve అయిపోతుంది. The people just fucking talk. If anyone told him that, okay, Myrtle wrote a book, but read it, see what she actually said. Instead, you have stupid characters in gap. So you stretch the movie out for an hour and a half because Bama and Murnau didn't get a gap from VD apparently. Who- like
I
it's
mean,
so
that's what
dumb.
this guy does, right? Even Gita Govindam is the same thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
gap evelyn.
one stupid ass, like, oh, I tried kissing you, but we could have just talked about it and gotten over it. But he stretches it for the whole entire film.
Yeah. But it's just, and there's a fight in the fucking climax, dude. There's no need. Two Jillas fighting VD. This isn't Sana Satyamurthy. That's now Upendra. And he said, I'll adopt him. Dadda Tiskunta, what is in this emotional music? I'm like, I'm supposed to feel for this stupid ass twist.
Who does he
He-
does he think he's Skanda, bro? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
holy
two
shit, dude.
state CMs.
Yeah, he said he'll adopt his son. I was like, wow, dude. That's when I was ready to just like give this movie a 0. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that, Avi? Just
Yeah.
adopting a random crippled dude.
You beat up and you crippled.
Yeah, he beat him up, he crippled him, and now he'll adopt him. And we're supposed to like his character. This guy's an absolute idiot, and she's even. Oh my God, she
Tell you,
she
that's how you
didn't
become
clear.
a family star. You have to
Yeah,
adopt
she
him.
didn't clear anything up. I mean,
Also,
my God,
Murnau has no lines in the second half.
Yeah,
Absolutely no lines.
it's actually ridiculous. I don't know
That was
how.
crazy. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
I was shook because like she's just there, like observing from a distance what his
yeah.
behavior is.
Every single shot that she was in was
Like,
just like looking at Vijay like all angrily, and that was it.
yeah, yeah,
And also
what a
she's the
waste.
daughter of no, she's Jagapati Babu's daughter, but she's
Yeah.
also like the CEO of
yeah.
like a huge company, but also has enough time to do a research analysis on Vijay Deverakonda's character, which
Yeah.
we don't even like ever see again. Like in the end they talk about it, but we don't even know about the fact that she's in college other than the CEO position.
That thesis plot point is one of the dumbest things I've ever like seen and heard of. Like doing a thesis by going and living in someone's house without them knowing and then submitting it and then like everyone saying, "Oh my God, great job." And then that ending when they reveal her speech to the audience in her college where she was like, yeah, this man should be applauded. Like you guys should all get up, let's applaud him." I was like, "Okay, this is you're taking it way too far now."
Yeah, this is the same. Also, his brother becomes an alcoholic because of the dumbest fucking
Oh,
fight I've
dude,
ever seen.
that is the
Okay,
Like
stupidest.
he grows a
that's
gut dome, he
yeah.
becomes an alcoholic because VD says one bad thing.
Not even bad. It's like
It's
like
true, yeah.
it's right.
He's like, dude,
That,
stop being a bum and get a job. And he's like, no, I'm gonna be even worse than I was before. And VD's
they
voice
never
modulation sucks, dude.
they also never come back to that. We suddenly in the second half see him like shaven and he's like, "Oh, I'm about to go to Delhi and like clear my tests again." I was like, when did they show that he's becoming better? When did nothing? And they spend so much time on that in the first half, like showing him being an alcoholic and how that affects the family and how VD has to take over. Like it's like the entire crux of the first half is basically that. And then they just boom, like it's cleared in like 2 seconds in the second half.
Dude, don't even get me started on like that scene that Barbell talks about where he's like మీ ఇంట్లో కూడా అమ్మాయిలు ఉంటారు మేము
Oh
తుప్పల్లో
yeah,
కూడా వేసుకుంటాం like any he's like you might tell them to bring an auto but we'll do it anywhere anytime any place. I was like, dude, how is this dialogue approved by Vijay Deverakonda? How did anyone write this shit in 2024?
You know,
That's
that's
infuriating.
crazy, but this is the same guy, Parshram is the same guy in 2022 who made Mahesh Babu's like sleep in the same bed with Kirti Suresh and she falls in love with him. So I don't think we're supposed to be using logics when it comes to Parshram.
I don't give a shit. I use logic. It
that's
doesn't
one of
excuse him.
Dark Harry Potter. I mean, that scene alone is just made me lose respect for that guy.
Why'd you have respect for him to begin with?
Yeah.
That's true.
This is the same guy
Somehow
who in
they
Anjaneyulu, Brahmanandam made
somehow
a sex
they
show.
okay, but that was funny though.
Yeah, yeah. Chikatlo. It's like I forget what it's called.
Dude, that's what I don't understand. Like I was like, okay, you have something in you. Like you're able to write like some clever dialogues. So I don't understand like how all of a sudden he just decides to write shit like this.
Yeah, and
His team left him probably.
what a
Yeah.
waste of Vanilla Kishore, dude. Like what a waste.
It's the same typical role.
Yeah,
Friend
he is.
of the country.
It wasn't even funny. I mean, he had like one line maybe that was like somewhat comedic, but that was it.
Yeah.
He was
Well,
like serious.
that was one of my biggest flaws of the whole movie is like technically it's like a comedy movie, but there was no comedy in it. Like I barely remember laughing any time. I think like once or twice I laughed throughout the whole movie, but like it's so outdated, corny, like cheesy that like there's nothing of humor added to it.
Yeah, and I mean, fine, if you fail the comedy, okay, but at least did you make us connect with the characters because it's a family film? No, even that's also a fail.
Mhm.
So at that point, it's like, what am I watching this film for? Like, there's nothing to watch a family film if you don't have those aspects.
Mhm.
So stupid, dude. Actually, such a dumb movie. It's a rom-com with no rom or com. The main
Yeah.
leads,
No, all ways if you look at it, yeah, it could be a rom-com. It has a bunch of aspects, right? It has family aspect, rom-com, entertainment. It has all that stuff, but none of it works. Like that's the biggest thing. So
dude.
if you're someone looking for that stuff, like you're not gonna find it in it, even though it's
Vijay,
there.
Vijay and Murnal have such few scenes where they're even interacting directly and talking to each other. Because the entire second half is done through third party or them being like Vanilla Kishore is their mediator, right? And in the first half, he's yelling at the family, doesn't connect with her halfway through.
Mhm.
So they barely have any scenes together. And it's just like, okay, like I don't care. At least in Gita Govindam or other movies, they at least interact. In this movie, Murnal is just a pawn, and Vijay Deverakonda barely interacts with her, and I'm like, what a waste because this pairing could have been really special because we saw how good she was in Hainana just a few months ago. Um,
I think
Yeah,
he just
it's
lost.
wasted, dude.
Yeah, I think he just lost like Arshon just lost like what he was trying to convey at some point, like beginning of end of the first half. Because like you can kind of tell he's going for the concept of like, VD's trying to like keep only his blood family close, and he only cares about that, and then he he just despises anyone else. But like he was trying to, I guess, show like how VD changes his like attitude towards other people, right, that are not his blood relative family. So it just didn't work because there's no interaction, like you said. Like there's no way you can really connect, and I think that's where it loses it because it's really tough this story to like even execute, right? It's such a like it's so it's just a middle class family, right? It's not like anything like that like blows you away from the story perspective. You just gotta direction here is really important, and Parshuram is not that is not good at that. So that's where I think it just falls.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's the basic story, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's just a family entertainment story. So your main goal is to connect with the audience and entertain them. That's it.
exactly. And he doesn't.
But
Yeah.
yeah. What else is there? I think we
I
covered.
think like a thought came to my mind, but like I think this type of movie, like I don't know if you guys remember like the Jagapati Babu movies like back in the 90s and stuff. Um, but like there was this one movie where like uh he left his wife and then went to a new one, and like it was something along the lines of like it just feels so archaic and like old because a lot of people like in those movies you would just like, oh hey, like you get a job, like, and it's like 2 crores or whatever. Like it's so illogical and like it feels like an old like Telugu movie, and it just feels like why are we still rehashing that in 2024? Like or Trump is just so outdated that it actually hurts to watch.
Yeah, it's super outdated. He thinks taking like young actors or upcoming people like Vijay and Murnal will make it, seem new and fresh, but that's not enough.
Mhm.
yeah, I mean it's a shit movie through and through. The first half, I was just checking my phone so much because things just kept happening, right? There was just no sequence, nothing. And then like there'll be an elevation scene for Vijay where with his Aadhaar cards, and then a fight, and then a comedy scene, and then a comedy scene, and then a love scene, and then the first half just sort of ends, and then a interval twist. And it's just so like it literally feels like you told us, right, Abby? Like it literally feels like you're watching like a serial because there's no entertainment and the characters all react so react like cartoons. Like the fourth biryani and every fourth Sunday, like dumb phrases like that. That people that these directors who are
They're trying to
Be
make that
rich as shit. Pink is relatable. Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, we forgot one crazy highlight scene, the New York
What?
City Times Square
Oh,
scene.
Oh my God. Were they
That
thinking the
actually might be the
prostitute?
worst part. That actually might be the worst
oh,
part.
what a fucking crazy shirt he was wearing too, bro. Like I don't think anyone like commented on that, but like that
Yeah.
itself was wild to like put that as a shirt for that like portrayal was wow.
They wanted to make a scene where Myrtle finally talks to Vijay and saves him, and the best this idiot could think of is making him a male escort in the middle of Times Square. Where did they find those actors, dude? Where did
Dude,
they?
I think they're actually like real actors because I was looking at the IMDb page and
Yeah,
they're listed there as like party girl or something. Like they're like all five of them or whatever. They're all listed there. I think they're actual like actors in the New York area and they just got casted in this bullshit.
they don't even sound like they're speaking like English. Like it's like the
I
European
think
English that
someone
we hear.
dubbed them. I think someone like from India dubbed them.
Oh, dude, that scene was cringe, bro. And it's so dumb. The fact that this movie even has a 5.5 on IMDb is generous.
Dude. You
Okay,
gotta
but I think I gotta say though, that I think the worst scene is that Liger girl scene. You guys remember that in the second half of Liger when I think he goes to save Ananya or something, and he goes to a warehouse and there's a bunch of girl fighters and they're fighting him.
oh
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
these crazy dialogues to them. He's like,
Yeah.
what? Like some like crazy sexist dialogues. I think that one's a little bit worse than this, but
Yeah.
they're both super similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Vidi's lost it, dude. And my biggest thing with him is there's no modulation in his dialogues. Like the entire movie, whether it's the comedy, the romance, the
Mhm.
action, and everything, he sounds the exact same, which I noticed happened in Cushy as well. So I don't know if he's learned, like he's never had range, obviously. Like maximum, I think intensity just started, like what the romantic roles just started. But he has nothing outside of that. But in this movie, especially in Cushy, you can really tell like his dialogue delivery is like shit the bed, right? Like he's saying like I'm just a boy. Like he says some dumb shit in English. And it sounds like Nitin, dude. He literally I told my brother, I was like, this feels like a Nitin movie in the second half. Like his overacting in the basement, or like his English dialogues feels like something Nitin would say from Bhishma. And I'm comparing him to Nitin's level of acting. So we know that's not a compliment, right? So he's a
Yeah,
bad actor. He's literally bad. The past three movies, he's been a bad actor flat out.
I think his like he's just not motivated. Like he's not motivated to do these types of films. Hopefully that changes with Gautam Dinanuri's movie with his next one. But I think he's done with this genre and he might have signed Kushi and Family Star like years ago. So these are prior commitments. I know for Family Star at least he was saying like he signed it pre-COVID. So that was like what, 5 years ago at this point. So I think in that time he realized like I'm done with this genre. Like I'm not motivated by it. I'm not connected to it. But he had to do it because of the commitment. So it's just hella low effort. I mean, this whole movie from him, I would say, is hella low effort. Because he was saying in the like interviews and stuff, he was like, yeah, I just copied whatever like, the director told me to do. And that's not really how it works. Like you have to like bring your own shit to the table too. Like you can't just rely completely on what the director says. Like if you were putting in effort, you would say like, how about I do this? How about I do that? What if I say it like this? Like there's a lot you can do. And I know he did that for Arjun Reddy. Like that had to have happened to get that performance out of him. So I think he just has no motivation and
Mhm.
you can see it on screen.
Yeah. There's no there's no reason an actor of his okay, so it says we have 9 minutes left. But there's no reason an actor with his level of fans and his influence on TFI should be delivering movies that are worse than stuff like Teja Sajja and Sidhu Janaлагada are pulling out, like Tulu Square and Hanuman. Like this guy is such he has so much backing, he has so many fans. And if you insult Vijay Deverakonda, there's like hundreds of people on social media who will literally be like, oh, you guys are forgetting how great of an actor he is. There's people who will put their neck out and like hype up this dude, and he's so lucky because, to be frank, he's acted well in Arjun Reddy and Pelli Choopulu and Taxiwala, and that's it. Everything else has been utterly disappointing, and this is just proof that he needs voice modulating coaching, and he needs to pick better scripts. Like you said, maybe this was pre-COVID, so doubt it what you, but something needs to happen soon because I don't like He's so and he's arrogant off screen too. That's the main issue, dude.
Yeah.
His recent media
Oh,
appearances have been
oh my
Yeah.
God.
terrible.
He's been saying some crazy stuff.
Yeah. He's like, I can't. The whole like debut actresses.
Yeah, the debut stuff. Yeah, yeah,
I'm like, dude, your
He's doing
biggest
better
hits were
acting
with
off
debut
screen than on.
directors.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
biggest hits that made you the Vijay Deverakonda were done by Sandeep Reddy Vanga and Tarun Bhaskar.
Yeah. And then his reasoning was, oh, like if I take all the debut directors, where are all the debut actors gonna go to? As if he's doing them
Oh,
a favor.
uh,
Yeah,
thanks,
yeah.
VD.
That's why Nani decided to go with debut directors, right? Hai Nana and Dasara. Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine VD and Hai Nana
God, dude. I think he would wreck that film.
or Dasara? Brutal in both of those. Um,
But yeah, no, looking forward, like I hope this guy finds his groove again with the Gautam Dinner project. Like I hope he's motivated and puts in effort because the platform, like you guys are saying, like the platform he was given, the fans he has, you can easily like fucking like destroy that. Like one more flop, you're done, dude. I mean, even this is like you probably cut your fan base in half with like the past few flops. So if you don't like pick up your act soon, you're gonna start dying out and your name will start like, you won't be in public eye anymore.
and what a waste of Divyansha,
I
right?
know,
Right,
dude.
Abhi?
What a waste.
She's in the movie for like
Just
2
an
minutes.
assistant that he just denies. It's crazy. For
Yeah,
like 10 minutes.
Yeah, he says some like crazy like Tamil dialogues to her.
Yeah.
that's some-
Like,
that was the only time
um,
I laughed was during that exchange. Actually, I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, should we just give numbers? I really don't think any of it. We're all speechless, dude. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just,
I'm just disappointed because I know he can do better and like he can put in the effort if he wants to. So if I don't see that in Gautam Tinnery project, it's done, dude. Like I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like I think he'll get his act together for that film because it's gonna be better because it's Gautam and like it'll be good. But if he shits the bed in that, it's over. I think he's done.
is that supposed to be action? Or what is
I
that?
think it's like a gangster or spy. I think it's like a spy film or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point though, I don't think he can do action. I really don't.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
doesn't have the modulation, the intensity, any type of like tier one type quality as of yet. So I don't know. I hope it changes, but yeah, like you said, it's tough, dude. I was a fan earlier, but I don't lost hope, dude. The last three movies at this point, so
yeah,
tough.
yeah. So should we?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We should. Yeah, I guess we can give our numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can start. To be honest, this is probably my least favorite movie of his. Even when I went to like Liger, I went with my friends, and Liger is one of those movies where like you can kind of roast it and have fun watching it. It's like mindless entertainment. And World Famous Lover, at least that one track he had with Aishwarya Rajesh, the taxi driver thing, where he was a auto construction worker. ఆ track బాగుంటది. Like he actually acts pretty well in that. But in this movie, literally everyone dials it in. He even tries in Liger with fighting techniques, but he does nothing in this movie. He puts in zero effort. Myrtle, one of the best current actresses we have, is sidelined, and I just I think it's like a three at best. I really don't. This is one of the worst movies I've seen in Tollywood, in the last several years. Just no one tried at all. So I give it a three, and that's generous too. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty generous.
that's pretty. Yeah.
Because I was gonna say I was gonna leave it a two.
Ah, fuck it.
Um
I'll give it a two.
and that too, like I somehow found some enjoyment in the first half. That's the only reason why it's a two. Because the whole second half is just shitting the bed. I think it's the every time they ever since they go to the US onwards, it's just terrible. And it loses scope too, because at least the first half, yeah, they do middle class in a shitty way, but they at least stick to what the movie's about. But then the second half, it just becomes like something else. It's not middle class family star anymore. It's like some Doli Prema mixed with like some other random shit combined into like, whatever. So yeah, two.
So yeah, I agree, and I think yeah, I would say like 2.5. I mean, like I think initially there is some nostalgic moment when you see Murnau with her purple saree. Like you just think, oh, okay, this would be a crazy role for her, but it just doesn't pan out. Um, and there is, yeah, some level of like intrigue. It's the first half with the family, the whole like going to the mall with their family and the dynamic with Murnau and trying to change him. But like it loses everything, man. It's and then he doesn't have any type of modulation, like you said. I don't, and I think that's it. Really, just comes down to him, dude. Like it's not. He could have lifted this maybe to like somewhat average, but like I would say
That's what I
like
mean. Like if he didn't just copy the director and put in his own effort too, because the movie, a lot of the scenes depend on him and his performance, and he fails in like 90% of them. So if he actually put in the effort, it could have been somewhat entertaining, but it's just a zero from him.
right. So yeah, I would say 2.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm on the same range as you guys. I give it a 2. I don't even know why I'm giving it a 2. I don't know if it deserves that, but like it is what it is, you know. It's not like I think it's one of the worst dog movies I've watched, but I definitely watched. I think probably Radhe Shyam is much like is worse, but even then I can only count like one movie that's as bad as it is.
Don't forget Acharya. Don't you
Oh,
dare forget
Acharya
Acharya.
Hawa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a deep wound.
That was Ankit's most look forward to film of what that year.
that tiger scene's crazy though.
That it is.
Oh,
That was
dude.
probably not even on Chiranjeevi or Ramcharan's list of most anticipated movies.
Yeah. Dude, that was young Chiranjeevi in that movie. Oh my God.
Too hot, too hot.
Crazy VFX.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're getting Chiranjeevi hatred on an episode that's not even there. That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we
Okay.
have a minute left, but thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for some episodes. We probably won't review any big movies till Kalki, I think, right? But
Yeah, unless something cool comes out
yeah,
beforehand.
if you guys want to collab or have any ideas for us, let us know. We'll catch you guys next time. Yeah.
We'll